Good morning, sir. You're Denzel Lewis. And Mr. Lewis, you were previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the third-degree felony offense of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. The agreement was for a cap of 6 years in prison. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections?
Just argument from the defense.
Not from the state.
In addition, I have received the jail incident reports, which have been turned over to counsel. Have you both had an opportunity to review those?
I have.
Also, I have received this morning and now reviewed, it looks like 4 letters of support that Ms. Holmes brought today. Mr. Smith, have you had an opportunity to review those as well? All right, then Ms. Holmes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. In looking at the PSI report, Mr. Lewis does have obviously previous criminal history spanning from juvenile and...
Lewis's lawyer argues passionately for probation. She talks about his troubled past, burglaries, prison time, but insists he's learned from it all. She describes a man ready to turn his life around, to work, and to provide for his family. Support letters from family and friends describe him as respectful and determined. For a moment, it seems like redemption might be possible. But in every courtroom, words are just one side of the story. Do you think people deserve another chance after prison, or should their past define their future?
Obviously, in reading his response to the PSI officer, I would allow him to elaborate more on that. Obviously, he did plead guilty to the offense, taking responsibility, and we are seeking probation in this case, Your Honor. We believe that at this point in Mr. Lewis's life, he understands, obviously, being incarcerated before, that it's not somewhere that he wants to go back and spend potentially 6 additional years of his life. He would like this opportunity on probation to have that opportunity to spend and get back on track with employment, to take care of his family and provide for his family.
Then, the tone shifts sharply. Judge West questions Lewis directly. He claims the gun wasn't his, that it belonged to his girlfriend and was hidden in her purse. But the judge isn't buying it. She reminds him, you can't plead guilty just because you want to take a deal. If he didn't know about the gun, then he's not guilty. But if he did, a jury must decide. The courtroom grows silent as Lewis admits he pleaded guilty just because he was driving the car. And right there, you can feel the judge's patience starting to fade.
Understand, because Mr. Lewis, your version of this is that it wasn't your gun, it was in your girlfriend's purse, and you didn't even know her purse was in the car, much less the gun was in the purse in the car. So either you are guilty or you're not guilty of the offense. And so if you knew about it, then you're guilty. If you didn't, then a jury needs to decide.
Prosecutor Mr. Smith steps in, calm but firm. He reminds the court that Lewis has been on probation before and failed. His time in jail has been filled with rule violations and disrespect. Smith insists this man doesn't deserve another chance. He asks for a 6-year prison sentence, setting the stage for what's about to become one of the most uncomfortable confrontations in this courtroom should past failures automatically erase someone's shot at redemption. What would you decide if you were the judge?
Guilty because you did what they charged you with.
I was, and I still am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith?
Judge, I think he's been given probation before. It was not successful. He's been revoked. The actions in the jail clearly show he doesn't have any respect for authority or rules. I don't feel like he's a proper candidate for probation, so we're asking for a 6-year sentence in TDC.
Judge West turns serious, and her words cut deep. She points out that many letters describe Lewis as respectful. Yet, the jail reports show the exact opposite. Then she reads them aloud, shocking details of repeated inappropriate acts toward female officers. The courtroom shifts from tense to stunned silence. The judge calls it the furthest thing from respectful she's ever seen. Lewis tries to defend himself, insisting it's not true that officers are lying. But the judge keeps reading. The pattern is clear and devastating. Do you think the judge should believe his story, Or are the reports too much to ignore?
Speak on the,
Sure.
that case wasn't on me. Somebody else had a case, and the woman even talked to the lieutenant to get it removed up off of my file, but it still shows up. That was not on me. It's somebody.
It's more than one time.
But I
So
don't-
hold on. So on April 14th, let's just go through them. On April 14th, you were in trouble for not being in your bunk, that you had been given several orders to go to your bunk. You proceeded to walk around yelling, "Bitch, stop talking to me." So that's from
The judge continues listing each violation, refusing orders, yelling at officers, and indecent behavior on multiple dates. Lewis denies it all, saying, "I sleep on my back. I have sisters. I don't do that." But the evidence stack keeps growing. At this point, it's not just about one mistake. It's a pattern of defiance, and the judge knows it. You can see it on her face. Her trust is gone.
this. Your response, according to this, is that that person should have asked the officers how big your penis, anyway. Since they want to be talking about you, they should have told them about that too. Then, on March 25th, before that, a week, so another officer, and these aren't the same officers. It's not the same person saying the same thing about you. Somebody has some vendetta against you. So on March 25th, started to do rounds. Notice that you were watching the person doing rounds. Had his hand over his midsection as if he was rubbing on himself. March 18th, another different officer. Notice monitoring the bunk. There you are, laying on your back, stroking your penis in a back and forth motion, told not to do so. January 24th, 2025, you're in trouble for walking around. This one, notice the way.
As the discussion continues, the judge digs into Lewis's prison record. He admits he didn't serve his full time because of tattooing contraband and not following the rules. That's the final straw. The courtroom atmosphere turns heavy, even sad. It's as if the chance for redemption that once seemed possible has vanished completely. At what point does "I've changed" lose its meaning when the behavior never actually changes?
To be quiet, do what you're supposed to do, didn't do it that day. December 29th, another issue of not following the rules. December 17th, another infraction for arguing and not following the rules. So if there was one time when they got the wrong person, that's one thing. That's over and over again, you disrespecting female officers who are in there just doing their job.
I don't know, sleep on my back.
Sir,
I don't know.
we're really going to do that?
You asked me, and I'm telling you, I sleep on my back.
Uh-huh.
I have sisters. I have a mama. I don't do that. Them people write whatever they.
They're making this up on you? That's terrible of them to do
If
that.
you look at my cases report, ma'am, I don't have any cases on none of that. I don't have any time. I'm not on no restriction on none of that.
Okay.
Up in the county.
You were off parole.
Judge West delivers her decision with measured authority. Lewis is officially found guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon and sentenced to 6 years in prison. She reminds him he's lucky. The prosecutor could have pushed for an even harsher charge due to his criminal history. Her message is clear. You've been given enough chances. This isn't anger, it's disappointment. And it's one of those moments where justice feels both firm and tragic at the same time.
And at this time finds you guilty of unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon. Sentence you to a term of 6 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal, and you're lucky that this was the agreement. Mr. Smith was generous. The fact is, you could have been enhanced to a second-degree felony because of your history, and you're lucky you weren't. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Obviously, you know this, but I'm required to read this to you. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long it lasts, you can talk to Ms. Holmes. You can go with the bailiff.